A boy who lived alone encountered something strange. Every night, at exactly midnight, he heard his neighbor chopping meat non-stop. At first, he thought the guy was just a workaholic, probably preparing food for the next day. But it continued night after night. He began to feel that something was seriously wrong. Every time he opened the window, the air was filled with the pungent smell of blood. The stench made him feel nauseous. But what was even stranger was that homeless cats always crowded on his neighbor's windowsill, as if waiting to be fed. And then a plan began to secretly watch his neighbor. But 2 whole weeks passed, and he never once saw the man. Then he came up with another plan. He quietly stuck a piece of tape on his neighbor's door to check if anyone actually lived there. Days passed, and the tape didn't move an inch. Yet every evening, the sound of meat being chopped continued. Plan decided to go further. He unscrewed the ventilation grill that connected their apartments, but he couldn't see anything inside. Then he taped the phone to the hanger and carefully slipped it into the hole. A moment later, he pulled the phone back out, wanting to see what was going on. But his neighbor's kitchen was completely empty, even though the chopping sounds continued. So he slipped the phone back into the vent. This time, he dropped a coin to make some noise and see if there would be a reaction. A few minutes later, he took out the phone, and what he saw made his blood run cold. The camera captured the familiar figure of someone he instantly recognized. When he zoomed in on the image, his whole body went numb. It was the tenant from apartment number 3. But what was he doing in apartment number 2? Determined to find out, Plan grabbed a metal pond for protection and went out into the hallway. He approached apartment number 3 and knocked loudly. Soon the door opened. The same man with the beard was standing on the threshold. He smiled and asked if Plan needed help. Plan quickly came up with an excuse and said he wanted to borrow a hammer. But as soon as the man turned to fetch it, Plan suddenly said he didn't need the hammer anymore. Plan rushed back to his apartment. He ran to the vent, took out his phone, and watched the recording again. This time he saw everything clearly. The man had climbed into apartment number 2 through the closet. Slowly, Plan turned his head toward his wardrobe. He walked closer, knocked on the wall behind it, and heard a hollow echo. There was empty space behind it. Could the man from apartment 3 have passed through his room as well? A chill of horror ran through Plan's body.